Hi everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the English Globe. I'm Adam, your co-host.
And I'm Julia, your other co-host. We're thrilled to have you join us today. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back. Here at the English Globe, we aim to help you improve your English in fun and effective ways.
That's right, Julia. Today, we have a fantastic topic lined up for you: learning English through movies and TV shows. This method is not only enjoyable, but also incredibly effective for improving your language skills.
Absolutely. Watching movies and TV shows in English can immerse you in the language, exposing you to natural speech, various accents, and cultural nuances. It's like getting a front-row seat to how English is used in everyday situations.
Throughout this episode, we'll dive into why this method is so beneficial and provide tips on how to choose the right movies and TV shows for your learning journey. We'll also talk about the importance of subtitles and how to use them effectively.
Plus, we'll share strategies for active watching, which can significantly boost your vocabulary, pronunciation, and listening skills. We'll even have an interactive segment where we'll practice a scene from a popular movie together.
And if that's not enough, we'll also answer some common questions from our listeners about learning English through visual media. Whether you're a beginner or looking to refine your skills, there's something for everyone in today's episode.
So get comfortable, grab a notebook, and maybe some popcorn as we embark on this entertaining journey to learn English through the magic of movies and TV shows.
Now let's dive into our main topic: why learn English through movies and TV shows? There are so many benefits to this method. Julia, do you want to kick things off?
Sure, Adam. One of the biggest benefits is immersion. When you watch movies and TV shows, you're exposed to natural, everyday English. You hear how words and phrases are used in real-life situations, which helps you understand context better.
Absolutely, Julia. This kind of exposure is invaluable. It's different from reading a textbook because you're seeing and hearing the language in action. You pick up on slang, idioms, and colloquial expressions that you might not find in a formal learning environment.
Another great benefit is the improvement of listening skills. Movies and TV shows feature a variety of accents and speaking speeds, which can train your ear to understand different ways of speaking. This is particularly useful if you plan to travel or work in an English-speaking country.
Yes, and speaking of accents, watching content from different regions can help you become familiar with those regional accents and dialects. For example, you might watch British shows like Sherlock or The Crown to get a feel for British English, or American shows like Friends or Stranger Things for American English.
Exactly. And let's not forget the visual aspect. Seeing the actors' facial expressions and body language provides additional context that can help you understand the meaning of words and phrases more clearly. This can be especially helpful for beginners who are still getting used to the language.
Plus, movies and TV shows are engaging. When you're interested in what you're watching, you're more likely to pay attention and absorb the language. It doesn't feel like studying. It feels like a fun activity.
That's so true. Now let's talk about some popular movies and TV shows that are great for learning English. For beginners, I always recommend starting with animated films like Finding Nemo or Toy Story. These movies have clear and simple dialogues that are easy to follow.
Great suggestions, Julia. For TV shows, Friends is a classic. The language is conversational and everyday, and the episodes are short, which makes it less overwhelming. Plus, it's very entertaining, so it keeps you engaged.
Another good one is The Big Bang Theory. While it's a bit more advanced due to the scientific jargon, it's fantastic for picking up conversational phrases and improving listening skills.
And if you're interested in more serious content, Dramas like Breaking Bad or The Crown are excellent. They provide a richer vocabulary and complex sentence structures, which can be very beneficial once you're comfortable with the basics.
Absolutely. Now, let's share some personal anecdotes. Adam, do you remember the first time you tried learning through movies?
Oh yes. I remember watching Harry Potter for the first time. It was challenging at first, especially with the British accents and magical terminology, but I found it incredibly rewarding. I learned so many new words and phrases that I wouldn't have come across in a textbook. Plus, the story was so engaging that I wanted to keep watching, which made learning feel effortless.
That's a great example, Adam. For me, it was the TV show Friends. I was trying to improve my conversational English, and Friends was perfect because the language is very everyday and relatable. I would watch an episode, jot down new phrases, and then try to use them in my own conversations. It made a huge difference in my fluency.
That's a fantastic strategy, Julia. And it shows how effective learning through movies and TV shows can be. It's about more than just understanding the dialogue. It's about absorbing the culture, the humor, and the way people interact.
Exactly. I also remember watching The Crown. It helped me understand the nuances of British English and exposed me to a more formal style of speaking. Plus, the historical context added an extra layer of learning, as I was not only improving my language skills but also learning about British history.
That's a good point. The historical and cultural aspects of movies and TV shows can provide context that enriches your understanding of the language. Watching something like The Crown or even Downton Abbey can give you insights into different eras and social norms.
Yes, and it's not just about the language itself. By watching different genres, you can also learn how to express emotions, argue a point, or even tell jokes in English. Comedy shows in particular are great for picking up humor and wit.
So true. Another aspect I appreciate is how movies and TV shows can improve your pronunciation. By mimicking the actors, you can practice speaking more naturally and clearly. It's like having a personal tutor.
And let's not forget about subtitles. They are a fantastic tool for learning. Starting with subtitles in your native language and then switching to English subtitles can help bridge the gap and make the content more accessible.
Absolutely. And as you get more confident, try watching without subtitles. It forces you to rely on your listening skills and really focus on understanding the spoken words.
These are just a few reasons why learning English through movies and TV shows is so effective. It's immersive, engaging, and provides a wealth of real-world language usage that you can't get from textbooks alone.
So, whether you're a beginner just starting out or looking to polish your skills, incorporating movies and TV shows into your learning routine can be a game changer. It's all about finding content that you enjoy and making it a regular part of your learning journey.
Exactly. So, get ready to pop some popcorn and turn your movie nights into learning opportunities. Up next, we'll discuss how to choose the right movies and TV shows for your English learning.
Now that we've talked about why learning English through movies and TV shows is so beneficial, let's discuss how to choose the right ones to maximize your learning. This is crucial because not all content is equally effective for language learning.
Exactly, Adam. One of the first things to consider is your language level. If you're a beginner, you don't want to start with movies or shows that have very complex dialogues or heavy use of slang. Instead, look for content with clear, simple language and slower-paced speech.
Right. Animated movies are a fantastic starting point for beginners. They usually have straightforward storylines and simple dialogues. For example, movies like Finding Nemo or Toy Story are perfect because they use basic vocabulary and clear pronunciation.
Another important factor is the genre. Different genres can expose you to different types of vocabulary. For instance, romantic comedies often feature everyday conversational English, while sci-fi or fantasy might include more technical or imaginative language.
That's a great point, Julia. For example, if you're interested in medical terminology, watching a show like Grey's Anatomy can be incredibly educational, though it might be more suitable for intermediate learners due to its specialized vocabulary.
Yes, and if you're into legal terms and courtroom dramas, Suits is a good option. But again, it's important to match the complexity of the content with your current language skills to avoid frustration.
Accents are another aspect to consider. If you're more familiar with American English, you might want to start with American movies and TV shows. But it's also beneficial to expose yourself to other accents. British shows like Sherlock or The Crown can help you get used to British English.
Definitely. It's all about gradually expanding your comfort zone. Start with what you're most comfortable with, and then try out different accents and dialects to broaden your understanding.
Now, let's move on to some specific recommendations for beginners. As we mentioned, animated films are great. Besides Finding Nemo and Toy Story, you might also enjoy The Lion King or Shrek. These films are entertaining and have clear dialogues.
For TV shows, Friends is a classic. It's widely recommended because the conversations are everyday English and the humor is easy to understand. Plus, the episodes are short, around 20 minutes each, which makes them manageable.
Another good TV show for beginners is Modern Family. It's contemporary, funny, and features a variety of characters and situations, giving you a broad exposure to different types of conversations.
And if you're looking for something a bit more educational, Sesame Street is excellent. It's designed for children, but it's also fantastic for beginner English learners because it covers basic vocabulary and grammar in a very engaging way.
Now let's talk about subtitles. Using subtitles can significantly enhance your learning experience. Starting with subtitles in your native language can help you understand the plot and context. But as you get more comfortable, switch to English subtitles.
Absolutely. English subtitles help you connect spoken words with their written form, improving both your listening and reading skills. Eventually, try watching without any subtitles to challenge your comprehension.
Finding content with English subtitles is easier than ever. Streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus offer a wide range of movies and TV shows with subtitle options. You can also find educational content on YouTube with subtitles.
Another tip is to use language learning apps like Fluent U, which use real-world videos, including movie clips and TV shows, and provide interactive subtitles. These tools can help you learn vocabulary in context and practice your listening skills.
And don't forget about DVDs and Blu-rays. Many of them come with subtitle options in multiple languages, including English. It's a bit old school, but it can still be very useful.
Absolutely. Remember, the key is consistency. Regularly watching movies and TV shows in English will gradually improve your understanding and fluency. Make it a habit to watch at least one episode or a part of a movie every day.
And don't just watch passively. Engage with the content. Repeat after the characters. Write down new words, and try to use them in your daily conversations. The more active you are, the more you'll benefit from this learning method.
So, start exploring different movies and TV shows. Find what interests you and fits your language level, and make it a part of your learning routine. Up next, we'll talk about how to use subtitles effectively to enhance your learning experience.
Now, let's dive into an essential part of learning English through movies and TV shows, using subtitles effectively. Subtitles can be a powerful tool to enhance your understanding and help you improve your language skills.
Absolutely, Adam. Using subtitles can bridge the gap between what you hear and what you understand. They provide a visual representation of spoken words, which can be particularly helpful for beginners. When you see the words on the screen, you can better connect them with their pronunciation and meaning.
Let's start with the different types of subtitles. The most common are subtitles in your native language and subtitles in English. Each type serves a different purpose and can be beneficial at various stages of your learning journey.
Exactly. Subtitles in your native language can be very helpful when you're just starting out. They allow you to understand the plot and context without getting too frustrated. This way, you can enjoy the content while still learning new words and phrases in English.
That's a great point, Julia. For example, if you're watching Finding Nemo and you're not sure what's happening, subtitles in your native language can help you follow the story. You'll still hear the English dialogue, which helps you get used to the sounds and rhythms of the language.
As you get more comfortable, switching to English subtitles can significantly boost your learning. This way, you're still hearing the dialogue in English, but now you're also reading the words. It helps reinforce your listening and reading skills simultaneously.
Watching with English subtitles is like having a built-in dictionary. If you hear a word you don't know, you can see how it's spelled and understand its context right away. This method is excellent for building vocabulary and improving comprehension.
And eventually, you'll want to challenge yourself by watching without any subtitles. This can be tough at first, but it's a great way to test your listening skills and see how much you've learned. It forces you to rely entirely on your understanding of spoken English.
Now, let's talk about transitioning from subtitles in your native language to English subtitles. This can be a gradual process. Start by watching a movie or an episode with your native language subtitles. Once you're familiar with the storyline, watch it again with English subtitles.
That's a great strategy, Adam. Rewatching content can be incredibly effective. The first time, you focus on understanding the plot. The second time, with English subtitles, you pay more attention to the language. This repetition helps reinforce what you've learned.
Another tip is to switch between subtitle types within the same viewing session. For example, you could watch the first half of an episode with native language subtitles and then switch to English subtitles for the second half. This approach gradually eases you into understanding English without translations.
And don't be afraid to pause and rewind if you miss something or don't understand a word or phrase. Use these moments as learning opportunities. Look up unfamiliar words, write them down, and practice using them in sentences.
Yes, pausing and rewinding can be very beneficial. It's like having a language tutor who doesn't mind repeating the same thing over and over until you get it. Take advantage of this flexibility to deepen your understanding.
Also, consider using language learning apps that incorporate movies and TV shows. Apps like FluentU provide interactive subtitles, allowing you to click on a word to see its definition, pronunciation, and usage examples. These tools can make your learning experience even more immersive and interactive.
Another useful tip is to practice shadowing, which involves listening to a line of dialogue and then repeating it along with the character. This technique can improve your pronunciation, intonation, and fluency. Subtitles can guide you in this practice by showing you the exact words being spoken.
Shadowing is excellent for honing your speaking skills. It helps you mimic the natural flow of conversation, making your speech more native-like. Combining this with subtitles ensures you're pronouncing words correctly and using them in the right context.
Finally, keep a vocabulary notebook. Whenever you come across a new word or phrase in the subtitles, Write it down along with its meaning and an example sentence. Review this notebook regularly to reinforce your learning.
Keeping a vocabulary notebook is a simple yet powerful habit. Over time, you'll build a personalized dictionary of words and phrases that are relevant to you, which can greatly enhance your speaking and writing abilities.
In summary, using subtitles effectively involves starting with your native language subtitles, transitioning to English subtitles, and eventually watching without any subtitles. Along the way, use techniques like pausing, shadowing, and keeping a vocabulary notebook to maximize your learning.
By integrating these strategies into your movie and TV watching routine, you'll make significant strides in your English language skills. Up next, we'll explore some practical exercises and activities you can do while watching to make the most out of this learning method.
Now that we've covered the importance of using subtitles effectively, let's dive into another crucial aspect of learning English through movies and TV shows: active versus passive watching. Julia, why don't you start by explaining what we mean by active watching?
Of course, Adam. Active watching involves engaging with the content in a way that promotes learning and retention. This means not just watching the movie or show, but also taking notes, repeating phrases, and paying close attention to the language used. Essentially, it's about being an active participant rather than a passive observer.
Exactly, Julia. Passive watching, on the other hand, is what we typically do when we watch TV for entertainment. We sit back, relax, and enjoy the show without really focusing on the language or trying to learn from it. While passive watching can still be beneficial, especially for exposure to the language, it's the active watching that really helps accelerate learning.
Right. One of the main benefits of active watching is improved retention. When you actively engage with the material, you're more likely to remember new words and phrases. This happens because you're not just hearing them. You're also seeing them in context, writing them down, and even practicing them out loud.
Yes. And another benefit is better comprehension. By focusing on the language and trying to understand every word and phrase, you improve your ability to follow conversations and understand different accents and speech patterns. This is particularly important in real-life situations where you need to comprehend spoken English quickly.
So, how can you practice active watching? One effective technique is taking notes. Keep a notebook handy and jot down new words or phrases you come across. Write down their meanings and example sentences. This not only helps with vocabulary building, but also reinforces your understanding of how these words are used in context.
Another great activity is repeating phrases. When you hear a line of dialogue that you find useful or interesting, pause the video and repeat it out loud. Try to mimic the speaker's intonation, pronunciation, and speed. This technique, known as shadowing, can greatly improve your speaking and listening skills.
Shadowing is excellent for honing your pronunciation and intonation. It helps you get used to the natural rhythm and flow of English, making your speech sound more fluent and native-like. Plus, it's a fun way to practice speaking without needing a conversation partner.
Another activity is to summarize scenes. After watching a scene or an episode, pause and try to summarize what happened in your own words. This helps you practice speaking and ensures you understood the content. It also reinforces your comprehension and ability to recall information.
Summarizing is a powerful tool. It forces you to think critically about what you've watched and express it in your own words, which deepens and improves your ability to use the language actively.
Additionally, you can create flashcards. Write down new words or phrases on one side of a card and their meanings or example sentences on the other side. Review these flashcards regularly to reinforce your vocabulary.
Flashcards are a simple but effective way to practice vocabulary. They're portable, so you can review them anytime, anywhere. Plus, they make learning new words more interactive and engaging.
Another helpful activity is discussing what you've watched with others. Join a study group or find a language partner who's also interested in learning through movies and TV shows. Discussing the content helps reinforce what you've learned and gives you a chance to practice speaking in a real conversation.
Yes, discussion is key. Explaining what you've watched to someone else helps solidify your understanding and gives you an opportunity to use new vocabulary in context. It's also a great way to get feedback and improve your speaking skills.
Finally, you can use subtitles to test your comprehension. Watch a scene with English subtitles first, then re-watch it without subtitles and see how much you understand. This exercise helps you gauge your listening skills and track your progress over time.
Testing your comprehension this way can be very motivating. It shows you how much you've improved and highlights areas where you might need more practice.
So, to sum up, active watching involves taking notes, repeating phrases, summarizing scenes, creating flashcards, discussing with others, and testing your comprehension. These activities help you engage more deeply with the content, making your learning experience more effective and enjoyable.
Remember, the goal is to make learning fun and interactive. The more you engage with the material, the more you'll learn and retain. So, next time you watch a movie or TV show, try incorporating some of these active watching techniques.
Up next, we'll answer some common questions from our listeners about learning English through movies and TV shows. Now that we've covered active versus passive watching, let's talk about the key language skills to focus on when you're learning English through movies and TV shows. There are 4 main areas: vocabulary, pronunciation, listening skills, and cultural context.
Let's start with vocabulary. Learning new words is crucial when expanding your language skills. When watching movies or TV shows, you're exposed to a wide range of vocabulary used in different contexts. To learn and remember new words, write them down in a notebook along with their meanings and example sentences.
Absolutely. You can also use flashcards to review new words regularly. Apps like Anki or Quizlet can help you create digital flashcards that you can review on the go. The key is to use these words in your own sentences to reinforce your learning.
Next is pronunciation. One of the best ways to improve your pronunciation is by mimicking the actor's speech. Pay attention to how they pronounce words, their intonation, and their accent. Try repeating their lines out loud, matching their speed and intonation as closely as possible.
This technique, called shadowing, is very effective. You can pause the video, repeat a line, and then play it again to check if you're matching the pronunciation. Over time, this practice will help you sound more natural and confident when speaking English.
Listening skills are also critical. Movies and TV shows expose you to different accents and speeds of speech. Start with content that uses clear, slow speech and gradually move to more challenging material. Don't be discouraged if you don't understand everything at first. Your listening skills will improve with practice.
Exactly. Try to listen for the general meaning first, then focus on specific words and phrases. Rewatching scenes and using subtitles can help improve your understanding. It's important to expose yourself to a variety of accents, such as British, American, Australian, and others, to become more versatile in your listening comprehension.
Lastly, there's cultural context. Movies and TV shows are rich in cultural references, idioms, and expressions that you might not find in textbooks. Understanding these can greatly enhance your language skills and help you sound more like a native speaker.
Yes, take note of idioms and cultural references and research their meanings. For example, in American shows, You might hear phrases like break a leg or spill the beans. Understanding these idioms will help you communicate more effectively and naturally.
To summarize, focus on building your vocabulary, improving your pronunciation, enhancing your listening skills, and learning cultural context. These areas will significantly boost your overall language proficiency.
Let's move on to some practical tips for learning English through movies and TV shows. One of the most important things is to create a study schedule. Decide how much time you can dedicate each week to watching and actively learning from these shows.
Yes, consistency is key. Aim to watch at least one episode or a portion of a movie each day. Incorporate this into your daily routine, like during your commute or before bed. The more regularly you practice, the better your progress will be.
Using language learning apps and tools alongside your watching can be very beneficial. Apps like FluentU, which use real-world videos, including movie clips and TV shows, can provide interactive subtitles and vocabulary practice. This can complement your learning experience.
Another useful tip is to keep a journal of new words and phrases. Write down what you learn each day, along with their meanings and example sentences. Review this journal regularly to reinforce your learning. You can also write summaries of the scenes you watch, which helps with both comprehension and writing skills.
Reviewing your journal and flashcards frequently helps transfer new vocabulary to your long-term memory. It's also helpful to use these new words in your daily conversations or writing exercises to reinforce your learning.
Additionally, try to make your learning environment as immersive as possible. Change the language settings on your devices to English, listen to English music, and follow English-speaking influencers on social media. The more you surround yourself with the language, the faster you'll learn.
Finally, be patient and persistent. Language learning is a gradual process, and it's important to stay motivated and enjoy the journey. Celebrate small achievements and keep pushing forward.
Now, let's have some fun with an interactive segment. We're going to role-play a dialogue from a popular movie. Julia and I will act out a scene, and we encourage you to practice along with us.
We've chosen a scene from The Lion King, where Simba and Nala are talking about their adventures. Listen carefully, and then we'll break down the dialogue and key phrases.
Now that you've heard the scene, let's discuss some key phrases and expressions. For example, when Simba says, "I just can't wait to be king," he's expressing his excitement and impatience.
Yes, and when Nala says, "We could get in big trouble," she's warning Simba about the potential consequences of their actions. These are great examples of everyday expressions you can use in your own conversations. Let's practice repeating some of these lines. We'll say them slowly, and you can repeat after us.
Great job! Practicing dialogues from movies and TV shows can be a fun and effective way to improve your speaking skills. Try this with different scenes and characters to keep your practice varied and engaging.
Now let's move on to our Q&A session. We've received some common questions from our listeners about learning English through movies and TV shows.
The first question is, what should I do if I don't understand everything? This is a great question. It's normal not to understand everything at first. Start with simpler content, use subtitles, and rewatch scenes. Over time, your comprehension will improve.
Another question is, how do I stay motivated? Setting small, achievable goals can help keep you motivated. Celebrate your progress and remember that every little bit of practice helps. Also, choose content that you genuinely enjoy watching.
The next question is, are there any additional resources you recommend? Yes. Besides movies and TV shows, you can use language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and FluentU. Online communities and forums, like those on Reddit, can also provide support and resources.
And our last question, how can I practice speaking if I don't have a language partner? You can practice speaking by shadowing, recording yourself, and using language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk to find conversation partners online.
Great questions, everyone. If you have more questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help you on your language learning journey.
We've covered a lot today about learning English through movies and TV shows. Let's quickly recap the key points. Focus on building your vocabulary, improving pronunciation, enhancing listening skills, and understanding cultural context. Use subtitles effectively and engage in active watching.
Remember to create a consistent study schedule. Use language learning apps and tools, and keep a journal of new words and phrases. Practice speaking through role-playing and interactive segments like we did today.
We hope you're excited to start using these methods to learn English. Movies and TV shows can make your learning journey enjoyable and effective. In our next episode, we'll dive into learning English through music and songs, so stay tuned.
Thank you for listening to the English Globe. Feel free to contact us with any questions or feedback. Happy learning, and see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.